Wait, how old was this girl? You're not gonna say it, so I will. She was 17. I don't know, I'm probably gonna fuck you up. You're gonna have daddy issues. Uh-oh. Damn, okay.
Not good. Okay.
So OnlyJayus and Mattie Westbrook are probably two of TikTok's biggest queer creators right now. They've got millions of followers between them and had been in a 2-year relationship. Then they broke up a few years ago, and everyone thought that was the end of it. Well, obviously, we all thought wrong, because this is only the beginning of a very messy story that has got the whole internet sizzling and boiling today. 3 whole years after their breakup, OnlyJayus has dropped a video that literally blew the whole thing open again. And we're not even talking about just cheating or other petty relationship issues. We're talking about minors, screenshots, a police report, and so much more. Anyways, Mattie hit back with a 13-minute response video, a cease and desist, and a whole pile of their own receipts. And the internet has completely lost it.
And you don't reply with your goddamn age? You just say, don't worry, I'm not that much older. They were fucking cheating on me. They ghosted me after this. I'm clearly not doing good. This is the moment I had to give my dad my gun.
Plus, here's the thing. Both of them came with proof. Both of them have giant holes in their stories. But one of them is straight up lying.
What? What?
No doubt about it, this OnlyJayus and Mattie situation is one of the darkest, most messy, most out-of-pocket pieces of creator drama to ever hit the internet. And we're getting into every single detail right now.
So I just wanted to say that my experience with Mattie when I was 17 years old was very inappropriate and very weird behavior coming from somebody who was 20 years old.
Okay, before we go into literally any of this mess, I need to make sure that we're all on the same page about who these people are, because the backstory is just as wild as the actual drama itself. So on one side of the story is OnlyJayus, whose real name is Bella. If you were on TikTok back in 2018, you already know the vibe. They were an educational creator, and the concept was super simple. Psychology facts, weird science, those little fun brain moments that made you feel like a genuinely smarter human being just for sitting on the toilet watching a 45-second video.
So you're trying to tell me that you think verbally? Yeah, I don't understand. You think visually? Of course. Hey, how do you think?
And it worked out massively. You see, at their absolute peak, Bella was not just popular, they were genuinely one of the most recognizable faces on the entire app. We're talking millions of followers, major brand deals, a literal Netflix podcast deal worth millions of dollars, and much more. They were the creator you'd screenshot and send to your group chat like, you have to follow them right now. But then 2022 happened. And by the way, here's one thing about Bella that you absolutely need to know before going into the story. This information will become a massive weapon later on, so you need to understand why. So, Bella has a history, a messy, documented, genuinely public history, the kind that does not just vanish no matter how much time passes.
I knew what that word meant and I chose to use it anyway, and still to this day I have to try and figure out why that was in my vocabulary. It was toxic as shit and I don't know who that person was. I'm not that person.
The first part is racism allegations, and when I say allegations, I'm not talking about a rumor that was up for debate. The creator actually said slurs at a teenager. Multiple slurs. That part is confirmed by Bella themselves, and when it leaked, Bella made an apology video.
In my past, I said disgusting things to people, and I am so ashamed of myself for using racist rhetoric and derogatory language to hurt others.
Now, let me be super charitable here and just say that apology did not land the way anyone was hoping it would. The internet absolutely tore it apart. She was smiling. She's trying to cry, but the tears are not coming out. But while Bella was right in the middle of drowning in that drama, another wave hit them out of nowhere. A creator named Everyday Alex came out and said that Bella had been caught stealing content ideas. And I don't just mean taking inspiration, I mean actually lifting concepts outright, and then having the absolute audacity to turn around and accuse other creators of copying them. Make it make sense.
This creator has accused OnlyJayus of stealing their content. So let's talk about it. This is solely for educational purposes, no hate to anyone involved. Don't forget to check out my Depop Inner Reports news. This is Alex.
Then other creators started backing it up. Multiple people started coming out and saying that their videos had also been stolen, almost word for word without credit. And then Bella was caught allegedly faking documents to win. From here onward, it became a downward spiral. Brand deals vanished. Netflix canceled the podcast. A petition to get Bella completely banned from TikTok hit 500,000 signatures, among others. It was just quite the sad story. Now, for the other side of this mess is our accused, Mattie Westbrook, a queer creator with a super similar audience size to Bella. Mattie was the kind of creator who built a genuinely loyal community over the years, where people felt like they actually knew them. They ran in the exact same circles as Bella, and somewhere in that orbit, their paths crossed, and it got way more than professional. It was in March of 2021 that Bella and Mattie officially hard-launched as a couple, and their fans were eating it up. Well, until everything crashed 2 years later. But before we get into how it all fell apart, you have to know how it actually started. So Bella went into this relationship explicitly wanting to be polyamorous, but Mattie wanted the complete opposite. And they were stuck at this phase until Bella finally compromised and gave up polyamory for our dear accused.
I wanted to be polyamorous. They wanted to be monogamous with me, and I eventually agreed to that.
And then Mattie still cheated anyways.
But they cheated on me anyway, which is crazy. Another messy, okay? But I was an adult, right? I should have just stepped away.
But the cheating isn't even the most alarming thing about this. Their relationship ran for 2 full years, all the way until February of 2023.
Quick timeline, me and Mattie started seeing each other in March of 2021, and we stopped talking February 2023.
2 good years, but what was happening inside those 2 years was actually unbelievable. When things finally ended, Bella went to the public about being cheated on. They put their pain out there to the internet, trying to process in the way that creators do. She wanted people to know what Mattie had done to her. Of course, you can always trust the internet to be the internet. They received the news with absolutely zero grace.
The response so far has been, I don't believe you, which honestly, valid. I didn't believe it myself. It took a very long time for
People actively and loudly decided that Bella was the villain. They flat out called her a liar, saying Mattie would never do that. People were running with completely different, wild versions of the story. Some said Bella was the abusive one, or that Bella was the cheater and Mattie was the victim. Plus, some people were just stuck in the middle, refusing to believe Bella because of their past scandals. Comment sections were brutal. Other creators were dropping their own hot takes without having the full story. And the timeline was just accepting it as pure fact. All these while, Bella was getting so frustrated that they literally had to beg people to stop spreading false narratives.
For the past few years, have continued to just spread the lie that I'm the one that cheated, and I'm sick of it.
Bella tried for a month, posting, explaining, fighting the accusations coming from every direction, but still waking up every single day to new waves of hate from people who had already made up their minds. Honestly, it was heartbreaking. So after a month of trying, Bella just stopped.
And or they just said I deserved it, or they said like you're lying, or they said that I was the one that actually cheated and abusive. And we're gonna address all that, those allegations as well. But after a month of posting about it, I finally just shut up because it wasn't getting anywhere. It was actually just getting me more hate, and I couldn't handle it.
And Mattie kept going on and posting like the whole drama had nothing to do with them. Life was completely normal for the person Bella had just spent months trying to hold accountable. Anyways, 3 full years went by. And then, towards the end of 2025, Mattie and their new girlfriend, Amara, publicly announced their breakup. And here's where the story is about to take the spiciest twist. Literally 2 weeks after that announcement, Bella was back with Spitfire.
But I'm not gonna let it go because full context matters, especially when new information comes out.
This was a completely different beast. One of the very first accusations out of their accuser's mouth, and they could barely finish the intro before they dropped this bomb.
Hey, how old was this girl? Remember when you posted this while we were dating because you didn't want people to know about me? You were like 21. How old was she? You're not gonna say it, so I will. She was 17.
Wait, what? Who is 17 years old? Well, Bella was talking about a girl named Noor, and they are pointing at actual TikTok videos Mattie filmed and posted. Videos of Mattie at 21 years old being physically close and intimate with a 17-year-old girl. Now, this is the part that stuns everyone. These videos weren't hidden. They weren't buried on some dark web forum. They had been sitting publicly on the internet for 5 full years. Fan communities had literally formed around Mattie and Noor. People were making edits of them.
Tease me, touch me, please me, sex me, bless me, caress me.
But Bella does not stop at the footage, because connected to Noor is a name that takes this story to an even more significantly darker place. And that is Nick, Mattie's 21-year-old roommate at the time. Bella claims Nick was actively bringing teenage girls into that building and getting them drunk.
If anybody remembers the Nicholas Ray drama, their roommate, he did it. Everybody likes to say that she lied, but she didn't. She was telling the truth. He would bring over teenage girls to their apartment and they would get them drunk.
And Mattie wasn't just some innocent bystander who happened to live there. According to Bella, Mattie was right in the middle of that exact environment.
These two adults, Nick and Mattie, would provide alcohol to these TikTok teenagers in the building.
And when allegations against Nick finally started circulating online about what he allegedly did to minors,
after Noor's video, a second girl named Liz came forward and claimed that I had assaulted her in June of 2020 and then provided proof in the form of pictures of bruises that she said I had given to her.
Bella says Mattie didn't distance themselves and that Mattie literally drove Nick to the airport, acting all emotional with a tearful airport send-off for a best friend accused by a minor.
But you stayed friends with him. You drove him to the airport. Big emotional hug and cry goodbye because you were going to miss your best friend that did this to minors. Because you did it too.
While that was still hot, Bella decided to increase the heat by moving straight onto the text messages. Yes, alongside the footage, Bella brought receipts, multiple screenshots of them. And the first text shows Mattie allegedly messaging someone they knew was underage, telling them that being 17 doesn't matter.
Text you in like 20 minutes. Yeah, you know, I'm just 17, right? Like, I don't know how old you are. Yeah, don't worry how I'm good. I'm not that much older. That's crazy. It's so sad we can't meet in person because of this stupid pandemic. So this is the middle of the pandemic. You're texting minors.
Then Bella reads out this massive text exchange. They explain how Noor reached out to them after 5 years because she was so disgusted that Mattie and Nick were such good friends. And then Bella decided to drop a screenshot of a message Mattie allegedly sent to Noor.
Well, it's crazy. And then she said, like, I'm sorry, what was the, I can't wait to take you on a second date when you turn 18. A second date? Wait a minute. I remember Mattie saying I can't wait to take her on a date when she turns 18. A second date?
Now, think about it. If the message says a second date, that means a first date already happened while she was still a minor, right? That would mean Mattie was already counting dates with an underage girl, except the message does not actually say the word second. But honestly, even without the word second in it, look at what the sentence actually is. An adult knows they're talking to a minor, and instead of backing off, their response is to write down exactly how much they're looking forward to a specific moment that minor turns legal. With or without that extra word, it is completely weird.
With your goddamn age? You just say, don't worry, I'm not that much older.
And then we got the 2020 COVID texts.
There was this one girl who was 17 in 2020. Is a screenshot that I already posted.
The whole world is locked down. Creators are hosting Zoom calls and Among Us games with their fans. The average age on these calls is around 20. Then, Mattie allegedly starts privately messaging someone from one of those calls, only for that person to also reveal they are 17 years old.
Yeah, you know, I'm just 17, right? Like, I don't know how old you are. Yeah, don't worry how I'm good. I'm not that much older. That's crazy. It's so sad we can't meet in person because of this stupid pandemic. So this is the middle of the pandemic. You're texting minors.
Okay, what's with the 17-year-olds though? Anyways, Bella isn't thinking about ceasefires yet, as her next move was to talk about the anonymous DMs from multiple people, claiming they had uncomfortable contact with Mattie when they were minors too. One of them claimed to talk to Mattie during COVID when they were underage.
They were 20. I don't know if it's true. I don't know shit about them, but I told them I was 17, and they continued to reach out to me to ask to FaceTime and stuff. It was over COVID, so hanging out was like a no-go, but it was all just really weird. I can send you receipts.
Then another person dropped this bomb, showing texts that were super inappropriate.
But this person said, it was like 4 years ago, my cousin and I were hanging out, and she was showing me that Mattie was flirting with her, and we were like 13 at the time. Do I think that a 13-year-old can probably misconstrue a famous person texting them as flirting? Yes. Do I think that a famous adult should be texting 13-year-olds? No!
The allegations just kept stacking up. Another girl stepped up saying she had a weird encounter.
This person says, thanks for speaking up about Mattie. They messaged me too a few years ago when I almost turned 17.
Then someone else alleged that Mattie was actively liking their thirst traps while they were only 16 years old.
I also had another person reach out being like, hey, is it weird that like Mattie liked the thirst trap of mine when I was 16?
Like, why are you on a 16-year-old's page doing that? Another person came forward claiming they were actually hanging out with Mattie in person when they were just 17.
We have this person that said, Mattie and I went on 2 dates down in Huntington Beach, California. When I was 17, I thought it was so cool dating somebody older, but now I look back and I'm disgusted.
But hey, if you thought that was bad, this one is the one that will actually make your stomach physically drop if true. Bella pulls up a DM where Mattie, allegedly chatting with someone, found out they were literally 14 years old, and instead of hitting block, just kept the conversation rolling.
18. Dude, are you not? No! 16? Y'all, this girl is almost 15. I don't know if you can do math, but that means 14 years old.
And right when you think it can't get any worse, Bella drops the daddy issues text. Here, Mattie allegedly sent a message to a minor directly joking about giving them daddy issues.
Yes, but I don't know, I'm probably gonna f you up. You're gonna have daddy issues. Uh-oh. Damn, okay.
Surely, the internet absolutely lost its collective mind over this. Because, let's be real, you don't just accidentally type something like that to someone underage. Nah, that's not just a typo. That is a grown adult fully recognizing the weird power dynamic they hold over a literal child and making a sick joke out of it. It crossed every single conceivable boundary. It wasn't just weird anymore, it felt like predatory behavior laid out in black and white.
Never in my right mind would I be a 20-year-old telling a 14-year-old girl that I'm gonna f them up and give them daddy issues.
People in the comments were livid. They kept calling out how disgusting the whole exchange was. Oh, and Bella wasn't done. Our tea partner even reads out a text where Mattie is allegedly talking to an 8th grader, a literal middle schooler. The timeline was practically hyperventilating at this point. You had viewers in the comments who genuinely gagged. Like, people couldn't even process what they were looking at. This commenter said, "I started to feel sick at the screenshots of Mattie trying to take on a parental role with a 14-year-old. As a victim of this is how it starts. Every single time adults have me, they have acted as if they were taking on a guardianship role in my life. If anyone tries to justify his behavior there, then you've clearly not seen how act. It's one of the many tactics they can use to make you feel safe and normalize being an adult talking to a minor." But hold on, because as soon as the shock wore off, people immediately started asking the obvious question. How do we know any of this is real? We all know anyone can type some messy stuff into a phone, change the contact name on top, and fake an anonymous DM for clout. So how does Bella corroborate any of these anonymous accounts?
Because I asked them, like, hey, do you have the phone number? Like, what is it? And it matched Mattie's exact number.
Well, the corroboration was literally just these people had Mattie's phone number saved in their contact. But wait, is that it? Having a phone number in your contact only proves exactly one thing, that a phone number exists. It doesn't prove how old the person was when they got it, what the actual conversation was, or if the screenshots were even real. And what makes it sketchier is that several of these anonymous accounts just stopped responding entirely the second Bella asked them for more details.
They never responded, so.
Some of them had absolutely no screenshots attached to their claims at all. Just words. And the ones that did have screenshots, they were heavily cropped with zero surrounding context that would actually verify anything.
And they said that they couldn't get their old phone, they couldn't find it, but they did find the screenshot that they took when it happened, because they, even back then.
Okay, so then Bella switches gears and brings in Amara. If you follow this drama at all, you already know this name. But if you haven't been following, here's a little catch up. Amara is Mattie's most recent ex. She and Mattie did the full public hard launch, showing off their relationship everywhere, looking like the perfect TikTok couple. They were together all the way up until late 2025, when they officially announced their breakup. And it was exactly 2 weeks after they broke up. Exactly 2 weeks, Bella drops this massive exposure video. In it, Bella claims they first met Amara at a Spotify podcast event, that Mattie introduced them, and that Amara was only 15 at the time.
Hey, that's a cool jacket. But why are you giving it to this teenage girl that we met together just a few days after staying at my house?
The implication there is super heavy. Bella is basically screaming that Mattie was eyeing Amara while she was still a teenager. But then Bella literally corrects themselves on camera mid-video.
I did originally say that we met Amara when she was 15, and you're gonna have to forgive me for that because the math is wrong. She was 16 because events didn't start happening until 2021.
So 15. Wait, no, 16. The number was wrong. In a video that is entirely constructed around ages being the most critical detail, they are literally fumbling the math. That's suspicious, don't you think?
I remember Mattie introducing me to her with her ex, JT, and like in a way that's like, oh, like you're mutuals with this person, you're friends with this person. And we're walking away, we're like, oh my God, she's so pretty. I remember them saying that Amara was like really pretty, and my first thought was she's like really young.
And then Bella drops this absolute gem.
My guess is Mattie did wait until this teenage girl turned 18 to start dating them. A 23-year-old waited for a 17-year-old to turn 18 because they're not stupid, they're just creepy, okay?
Did they just say my guess? As in Bella literally drops a guess in the middle of a video full of time-stamped evidence? I mean, you can't just guess about an allegation that heavy and present it as tea. Plus, Amara wasn't having it at all. Still, in the exact same video that is supposed to be filled with the evidence to bring Mattie down, Bella completely contradicts their own story about the timeline.
Amara has said that she was 18. And you know what? I believe women. If Amara says that she was 18...
So, let's get this straight. Bella puts forward the theory that Amara was involved before she turned 18. And then, in the exact same video, says they believe Amara's own account that she was 18. And the internet completely respected Amara for her reaction. Think about it. She's fresh out of a breakup. Her ex is in the middle of a massive scandal. If she didn't want to be vindictive, this was her perfect opportunity to hand Bella the loaded gun. But she didn't take the bait. She completely denied Bella's claims and made it crystal clear that she was not about to be used as ammo for someone else's vendetta. You had users jumping into the comments to defend her, basically saying she wants to live her life and stay out of this controversy. And others totally agreed. Amara just wants peace. And you really can't blame her for dipping out of this mess. So the entire internet is in flames. Everyone is waiting to see how Mattie is going to survive this. And then the internet villain fires back. But before they even hit the upload on their response video, Mattie made a massive behind-the-scenes move. They served Bella a literal legal cease and desist.
Why does the cease and desist have typos? We are aware that you have been making egregiously harmful defamatory statement.
Like, we are bringing lawyers into the chat now. And how did Bella react? Bella basically laughed in the face of the legal threat. They hopped online, completely unbothered, brushing it off like it was absolutely nothing.
This feels like the right way, so I don't care if they make another video before we go to court. I've said what I've had to say.
However, the real moment everyone was waiting for happened on February 22nd, 2026. Mattie finally uploads to YouTube. It's a 13-minute video with the title, "The Lies Stop Here." From the very first frame, the energy of this video is crazy specific. It is completely deliberate. Mattie isn't frantic, like they have clearly organized every single thought in their notes app. They open the video by thanking the audience for waiting before rushing to conclusions, which is such a smart PR move because it immediately positions the accused now as the mature adult in the room who deserves our patience.
So first off, I want to start this video by saying thank you for coming here and listening to my truth because you did not have to. But with that being said,
and then they admitted to something they did. It caught everybody totally off guard. Instead of denying everything, Mattie finally openly admits to cheating on Bella right out of the gate.
So while I was at an extremely low point in my life in November of 2022, I kissed somebody else.
They want us to believe that they only cheated with just one kiss, with one person at a weak moment. That's what they claim, basically trying to take away Bella's ammo. But what about ours? Anyway, that's not the problem for now. So Mattie goes straight for the heaviest accusation, which is Noor. They look right at the camera and flat out deny ever having a physical, intimate relationship with her before or after she turned 18.
They said that in this screenshot, I was 21 having a relationship with somebody who was 17. Me and the person in this screenshot have never had a physically intimate relationship before or after she turned 18.
Mattie even says they thought they were on completely good terms. They pointed out that Noor Noor had actually reached out to them in 2023, making it seem like it was all just friendly check-ins.
In fact, since nothing happened between us, I thought we were on good terms, considering she reached out to me in 2023 just to check in and see how I was doing.
And he wants us to know that what Noor did to him stings him so bad. Now, as for those uncomfortable videos of them together, Mattie fully admits they were wildly irresponsible and incredibly stupid, but they firmly maintain that there was zero physical intimacy going on.
Noor and I met when I first moved to LA in 2021, and so on June 16th, 2021, I posted this video of me and Noor. Looking back, it is wildly irresponsible and incredibly stupid of me to be making these videos with somebody when they were 17.
But you guys, the internet was clocking that defense so fast. Because how are you going to sit there and claim that nothing intimate happened, while simultaneously showing footage that literally generated fan edits and romantic ship content for 5 entire years? It was just completely contradicting itself in the same breath.
Mattie would provide alcohol to these TikTok teenagers in the building.
You
were a grown adult who could provide alcohol. I can't.
So since I was 20 at the time, I could not buy alcohol for people who were underage.
Then Mattie moves to clarify a massive, glaring detail that Bella got wrong about the alcohol. Bella had claimed Mattie was 21 and buying drinks for minors. Well, Mattie sets the record straight with their actual age.
This is me at 20, this is me at 21. I said that because Bella has been lying and saying that I was buying alcohol.
20 years old. Do you know what that means? In the United States, Mattie couldn't have legally bought alcohol for themselves, let alone an entire apartment of teenagers. The only one in that house old enough to buy alcohol was Nick. This was a huge hole in Bella's story. And the comments were totally having a field day with the math. Yes, we had people making jokes about the drinking age, pointing out that Mattie's defense literally aligns perfectly. But then you had people pointing out the obvious reality that people under 21 get their hands on alcohol all the time. The timeline was literally fighting itself over this. But Mattie didn't stop there. They started systematically calling out Bella's screenshots as completely fabricated lies.
And she was showing me that Mattie was flirting with her, and we were like 13 at the time. Do I think that a famous adult should be texting 13-year-olds? No!
Because that's a lie. That never happened.
This person says, thanks for speaking up about Mattie. They messaged me too a few years ago when I almost turned 17.
That's a lie. No, I did not.
We have this person that said Mattie and I went on 2 dates down in Huntington Beach, California.
When it came to that horrifying daddy issues text, Mattie actually admits to it. They call it an idiotic joke, say they deeply regret using that language, and insist that they actually cut contact immediately after finding out the person's real age.
And for some idiotic reason, I tried to make a joke. I deeply regret sending that text message. I should not have been using that language with somebody who was younger than me. I should not have said that.
But then, Mattie would also go on to drop the absolute mic. Bella thought she had the ultimate smoking gun.
That's crazy. This is like actually crazy. You just showed this, like you cut it off. You cut off this one part.
But Mattie pulls up the uncropped version of the exact text message. The full unedited screenshot. The exact part where Bella is trying to make Mattie look like a predator. At this point, Mattie is beginning to look like the one who has more solid receipts.
I should not have said that. And as you can see from this screenshot, that Bella absolutely refuses to acknowledge. This same person who screen recorded our entire conversation that Bella read out loud in their YouTube video is clearly stating that I stopped talking to them after I found out how old they were. Of course, I wanted to show this one part. It's the most important part. It proves that I had absolutely zero intentions of flirting with this person.
And when it comes to the Amara situation, the receipt boss doesn't just give an excuse. They bring concrete, undeniable receipts. Timestamped photos proving that Amara was miles away in the Sequoias on the exact date Bella claimed they had met her at the Spotify event. You literally cannot argue with a timestamped camera roll, right?
In the Sequoias. These are pictures that Amara sent me herself from her camera roll. She was not at that Spotify event.
Once Mattie finished defending themselves, the tone of the video completely flipped. Mattie went from playing defense to absolutely dragging Bella's entire character through the mud. Mattie pulled out the receipts on everything. They reminded everyone about Bella's plagiarism scandal. They brought up the fake documents Bella used in that old beef. Mattie basically looked into the lens and said, "You want to talk about credibility? Let's talk about yours." They even leaked unhinged, deeply alarming text messages Bella had sent them during their toxic relationship.
Because it shows that Bella is consistently tormenting my life and refusing to take accountability for it and calling it jokes.
I said, "Oh, if you see my cheating ex, can you slap the fuck out of them for me?" This was a tiny ass girl that I was joking around with. Said, "Mattie, you better hope you never see my face again, because I swear you haven't seen crazy yet." You haven't. If you see me at Coachella, run, because we bought Coachella tickets and then we weren't going together anymore. So if you see me there, you better run, because I am coming up to you and we are having a fucking conversation.
Just for you, I will address it here, okay? I threatened myself.
Everything Mattie says about Bella is fully documented. It's brutal, but you guys, there is a massive, glaring absence in this 13-minute video. One name does not appear anywhere, not even in passing. That name is Nick. The internet caught it immediately. The comments were flooded with people asking why Mattie was protecting Nick, and Bella hopped right onto it, doing a response pointing out that exact omission.
But you know what they didn't put in their video? Nick. They didn't mention Nick at all. I wonder why.
But at the same time, the timeline wasn't letting Bella off the hook either. People were still asking the accuser questions. Like, if they cared so much about these minors, why did they wait until Mattie broke up with their new girlfriend to drop this video? Why sit on it for years? Well, if you're also on that train of thought, Bella claimed they didn't know the full context of the allegations until recently.
They're the ones coming out. They're the reasons why I came out and talked about this now. Talked about the cheating years ago. Talked about these minors recently because I didn't know until recently.
But for a lot of people, it felt a lot less like a rescue mission and way more like a jealous hit job, perfectly timed for maximum damage. Anyways, just when the internet was ready to tear each other apart over who was lying, the actual girl at the center of the timeline steps up to the mic. Noor drops her own independent statement.
There's a very serious situation that I've been meaning to address, and I just needed to gather myself and all my stuff so that I could lay it out.
She immediately clears up those 2023 text messages. You know, the ones saying Mattie used to prove that they were on good terms. People thought she was just making friendly small talk.
I had sent some text messages to Mattie back in February of 2023, just kind of making small talk.
But Noor explains what those texts were, that she was trying to verify Mattie's phone number because she was filing a literal police report. A police report against Mattie's roommate, Nick, for sexual assault from back when she was 17.
The text messages to OnlyJayus saying that I wanted to be involved was because I had to file a police report against Mattie's roommate Nick back in 2021, and Mattie was no help to that case at all.
In 2023, the case got transferred to a new detective, so Noor had to go back and re-verify all of her contacts. According to her, that is the only reason she texted Mattie. And tragically, the case eventually went inactive because the people involved, including Mattie, did not cooperate with the investigation.
Mattie wasn't the only person whose phone number I had to give over to the detective, so there was more phone numbers other than Mattie, but from what I know, there was no cooperation from anybody else involved, hence why the case is no longer active.
And then, Noor addresses Mattie directly. She doesn't accuse Mattie of a crime, but she absolutely does not let them off the hook either.
I just want to say that I am not accusing Mattie Westbrook of any type of crime or assault, but I do think it is very, very weird as a 20-year-old to be hanging out with 17-year-olds and minors. Mind you, also providing alcohol and an apartment for said minors to drink in.
And same as what her partner in this fight said, she also didn't like the way that Mattie stood behind his friend after all that he allegedly did to her.
Continued to stand behind their old roommate after multiple people had come out about them getting assaulted by him.
Now, you know how people on the internet love to play lawyer.
My experience with Mattie when I was 17 years old was very inappropriate and very weird behavior coming from somebody who was 20 years old.
They saw Noor use the word weird instead of throwing around heavy criminal buzzwords, and they immediately tried to downplay the severity of it. You literally had people in the comments trying to justify it. But Noor shut that down so fast. She reminded everyone that regardless of the age gap, the adult always knows better.
And no matter what, 17 and 20 is not right, even if it is a 3-year age gap, even if the person is just about to turn 18, it doesn't matter. That is still a minor and an adult, and the adult always knows better in those situations, so you cannot blame the minor.
And when you're a victim finally speaking out about your own trauma involving massive internet celebrities, you aren't worried about drafting a textbook legal brief. You just call the behavior exactly what it was to you: deeply, horribly weird. So now we have all these videos, and the internet is doing what it does best: analyzing the vibes. At this point, one of the most discussed things wasn't even the receipts themselves. It was how completely differently Bella and Mattie delivered their messages. Mattie simply came off as the more reliable narrator. They were calm, succinct. Meanwhile, Bella sounded frantic and aggressive.
Mattie comes across as a more reliable narrator. Like, regardless of which side you're on, the way that Mattie speaks to the camera, I think instinctively makes you believe them more. OnlyJayus speaks very quickly, has quite an aggressive tone. You feel like they're shouting at you. And they're not very succinct in what they're trying to say either.
Well, Bella said it comes off that way because she doesn't know how to fix her tone. However, the comment section was an absolute battlefield. You had people completely divided. Some people said Mattie's proof sat perfectly right with them. Most pointed out Bella's massive history of lying, which isn't that far off either. And honestly, poor Clue summed up the entire internet's mood, saying she felt like she was being manipulated by two divorced parents. Literally same. Whichever way you look at it though, there are still massive gaping holes in this story. Because why did Mattie completely ignore Nick's name? Are Bella's anonymous DMs real or just another fabricated lie? Is Bella doing this out of pure revenge because of their own cancellation years ago?
Is it that we cancel people for what they said as teenagers, but not like try to hold accountable the people that are getting with teenagers?
Anyways, Mattie's next move after these accusations was to completely nuke their social media presence. They deleted all of their social apps, and of course that sparked a whole new debate. Was it guilt or just protecting their peace?
I deleted all of my social media. Yeah, so Snapchat is gonna be my main, source of content.
We have comments saying innocent people don't run and hide. But then we have those jumping in defending them, pointing out that social media is a toxic wasteland. And leaving is just what you have to do to survive it mentally. This story is literally unfolding as we speak. And honestly, you guys, we have absolutely no idea what's gonna hit us next. We just have to be ready.
But I'm also here to disprove the disgusting lies that Bella is spreading about me right now. They've been a constant poison in my life for years. And this is my last video addressing them.